As the world faced the worst pandemic in a century, Singaporeans were asked to hide in their homes. Yet, in housing estates nationwide, everyday heroes stepped out to support their neighbours.
I really want to spread love.
Hopefully this light up will make all the residents stronger.
At several points, realize that education empowers you.
I am playing a part as a citizen to make sure that the community is safe.
I wanted to foster a stronger kampong spirit within the neighbourhoods.
Go back to yesteryears of the kampong spirit. We need to rekindle that. This is a perfect example.
Serving us from nationwide quarantine to national celebration. As neighbours help neighbours, they light up our Kampong Konkrit. People say Singapore's become a concrete jungle, but I say it's a concrete village. It's our Kampong Konkrit. Singapore's long-lost kampong housed tight-knit communities. We romanticize these villages where everybody knew everybody, and neighbours looked out for each other. Most Singaporeans live under one roof and keep to themselves. But the old kampong spirit can shine through in dark times.
Singapore will apply significantly stricter measures to help keep COVID-19 infections in check. Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, in a live televised address, the nation has described the measures as a circuit breaker.
Stay at home. Avoid socializing with others beyond your own household.
When asked to stay home in April and May, Singaporeans longed for the old kampong spirit and found it in new ways. From her flat west of Singapore, this young woman spurs a community movement.
My name is May. I'm currently working as a product manager in the fintech industry.
May Tan used her industry skills to kickstart Kampong Kakis. Her website matches people in need with befrienders in their neighbourhoods.
On our website, people who are kind neighbours and willing to help can sign up with us as a neighbour volunteer. On the back end, we use technology to pair them up together by their proximity and the types of assistance that they can give or that they require.
The idea came to her while facing the disease firsthand. May got infected with COVID-19 while working in New York and was later hospitalized in Singapore.
Being hospitalized was my chance to really take a pause and reflect. And I realized, if I died tomorrow, I haven't really lived life the way I wanted to. So one of the convictions I had recovering was that I should try and do something to help someone.
When May recovered, she partnered her longtime friend Denise and her neighbourhood community leader Michelle to launch Kampong Kakis. Together, they recruited volunteers from estates across Singapore.
The response actually picked up really quickly. We already have close to 600 volunteers. So far, we've helped to match 40 of our kaki in need. I feel like the energy is definitely picking up, and we really hope that it can be sustained going forward. Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the east of Singapore, the Fengshan community has a champion who is a big man with a big heart. he has a hands-on solution to protect the community from COVID-19. With the help of his son and volunteers, Kee Sek-soon installed over 200 hand sanitizers in elevators across housing estates in Tangshan. Today, Kee and his son are checking if the sanitizers need replacing.
When we are free, we try to walk around to refill the sanitizer. Or when the sanitizer is loose, then we try to fix it back again. Due to the COVID-19, I think everybody was worried and everybody tried to be clean.
Kee also shops for food and supplies for isolated elderly residents and distributes essential items and care packs to families in need. It's part of his work as a volunteer and grassroots leader.
Hello, we are from the Fongshan CC. We are coming over to your house in 30 minutes time. Even there is a lot of challenges now, I and other volunteers still carry out our work to help the needy so that they are not left out.
He's willing to go the extra miles to help those people in need and expect nothing in return. Maybe it's because of his background previously when he was young. He's not so well off. And now he's a director in his company. He has the heart in helping this kind of underprivileged families.
Apart from volunteering, Kee runs an engineering and building company. His business has been hurt by the pandemic, and many of his workers have been quarantined.
I have about 30 migrant workers. I have migrant workers working for me for 15 years. So every now and then I will call him to see how the workers are doing. Then there is another one in the MHA.
Yeah, that one now stay in Sengkang.
Oh, they changed place, ah?
Yeah, change place.
And only my wife and my son are able to come to the office to do some paperwork. As and before, 2003, we are facing SARS. 2008, we are facing the economic crisis. And this time, we are having the COVID-19. I think every bosses have to be thinking positive.
In Singapore, COVID-19 rapidly infected thousands of migrant workers as they lived in densely populated dormitories. Where there are outbreaks, migrant workers have been quarantined in their dorms. To enforce these quarantines and ensure social distancing, the police have been deployed.
Okay, guys, another day. So hope you all look after each other, keep your distance. When you're doing it, put on your mask, your PPE, everything.
Tan Chi Wee is a school teacher who has volunteered with the Singapore Police Force for 18 years. He's been sacrificing his school holiday break to support the police serving the dorms.
So during the circuit breaker, I was involved in the food delivery for the meals for our officers, our SPF officers, as well as the FAST team in the dormitories. So now we are packing the dinner for them. Yeah, and we need to count the quantity as well as the type of food, like vegetarian and non-vegetarian. We're going to a dormitory in the western part of Singapore. We are making 2 trips today for this particular route. I think we just stay on top since it's the school holidays. So for the month of May, yeah, I've been helping out. We always make sure that we are wearing our masks and our gloves when we are near the dormitories. I find that it is important that because our fellow police officers are also doing their duties at the dormitories, I will want to be also at the front line supporting them. Hello, hi, is it Jeffrey? Hi, we are here to deliver the dinner. Yeah, thank you.
The pandemic has cost many their jobs, and for families who have fallen on hard times, food is vital. Our our next hero wants to make sure no one goes hungry. Nizar Muhammad Sharif is the founder of the charity Free Food for All.
Here we are heading out to Block 162 Yishun. That's where we have our fridge restock program every Friday, courtesy of Red Mart, where they donate to us items that has a short shelf life. Well, the initial concept of the fridge, anyone within the block of residents would be able to take the items and make it like a fridge, take what they need, leave what they don't. That has actually enhanced the food security element of the residents at Block 162.
But because of the pandemic, the demand for food has risen and supply has been limited.
So the concept of everybody being able to take what they want can no longer apply. And our volunteers there will make sure that everything is distributed.
Nizar sees giving to the needy as an act of godly devotion. That's especially so today, on the eve of the Muslim holy month, Ramadan. Rima is a volunteer who has the tough job of marshalling the community fridge, ensuring food is rationed well.
I've been staying in Block 162 for almost 6 years. I started with Free Food for All as a volunteer about 3 years ago.
Rima says she knows the pain of going hungry.
I went through a lot during my divorce, and I was alone with my son. When I just shifted here, my son and I were really shortage of food. But we were so shy to ask. So I can really understand why these needy, they really need food. I really want to help these people. No matter what, they still have food on the table. I'm still there for them.
Everyday heroes go beyond the call of duty. They are determined to serve and protect Singapore when called upon. And May's newbie do-gooders discover that serving takes more than willing hearts. It's the eve of Hari Raya Puasa, and school teacher Tan Chi Wee is reporting to Choa Chu Kang Police Station for the night shift.
It's unique in a way that actually for us, we often volunteer ourselves during this time of festive seasons.
Volunteering as a policeman on public holidays and weekends lets regular police officers take time off.
Typical shift is about 12 hours long, and I volunteer about 2 shifts a month.
Due to the pandemic, the police have to take extra safety precautions.
Okay, then, you know the report should still have as much information as you can, relevant information that should be inside.
We also need to practice safe distancing measures, and we will also have to equip ourselves with the personal protection equipment. My team and I will be patrolling around our designated sector in Choa Chu Kang. So we respond to 999 calls and assist the persons in distress. We definitely keep an eye out for citizens when we are on patrol to make sure that they do not violate the distance measures.
As Singapore is in a nationwide quarantine, it's quiet outside. But decorative lights on every block hint of festive joy in Muslim households.
I'm very happy that the rest of the people are celebrating, and even though I'm on duty, I feel that I'm in a way contributing to the festive as well.
But the festive mood is shaken when Chi Wee hears about crime in the neighborhood. He springs into action.
We are assisting another team for a case of mischief, Yeah, so we are going there to see whether they need our assistance.
The distressed family had been celebrating Hari Raya when they reported having their mailbox vandalized.
So we established that the lock was really tampered with. So we had to take photographs and also assist them with the reporting of the incident. And the investigating officer will follow up subsequently.
Around 2 a.m., Chi Wee is deployed to enforce a roadblock.
The police will step up such roadblocks to deter drink drivers. When we encounter members of the public, we definitely need to be very patient with them and to be very clear in what we are trying to ask them to do. Hi, good morning. Hi, where are you going?
Going back home.
Where do you come from?
Yeah, from my parents' in-law place.
Okay, so same family, right?
Sorry?
Same family, lah.
Yeah, family.
Okay, can. Okay, thank you. Bye.
While most of Singapore sleeps, Chi Wee is only halfway through his shift.
No doubt it's tiring, but every moment is a learning experience for me, actually. So I actually enjoy what I'm actually doing.
24th May, the Hari Raya Puasa holiday begins. Traditionally, Muslims would gather at mosques for early morning prayers. But places of worship are out of bounds during the circuit breaker quarantine. The holiday spirit may have been dampened by the pandemic, but it's inspired others to give back in a big way. Nizar and his charity Free Food for All aim to prepare 10,000 meals for the underprivileged.
We are now currently at about 5,300 meals, so there's about 4,700 more to go.
They want to give these meals to quarantined migrant workers from Bangladesh, who should have been celebrating this Muslim holiday too.
Today's meal is different because most of the migrant workers who are Bengali, they wanted something that represents what they had in Bangladesh. So we specially catered food for them. That is chicken pulao with some vegetables, basmati rice, and a dessert called shimai. We also have some migrant worker volunteers who is helping us with the packing.
All of the Singaporeans, I'm respect them and salute them. They will take care of all of the foreigners.
We also have volunteers that are coming to drive, courtesy of SG Assist, who has actually helped us in gathering more volunteers. Honestly, I miss the feeling of what Raya is, but I guess things are more important. Safety is more important.
It's unusual to spend Hari Raya away from the warm embrace of family. But charity and self-sacrifice are the true spirit of Ramadan.
Bye. Assalamualaikum.
After 2 months in lockdown, on June 2nd, the country begins easing quarantine measures. It's a chance for May and Denise to begin serving alongside others who've signed up to be Kampong Kakis. Today, May and her volunteers are helping another group, Beyond Social Services, to share Hari Raya gift bags with their beneficiaries.
So as you give out the goodie pack, maybe you can also give them a piece of the flyer. Just briefly explain that, you're from Kampong Konkrit and our aim is to help anyone who needs help in the neighbourhood. Every pack is the same. You can pack all the 9. Pack all 9 first.
Can carry one.
We go to 1153 something. Our main focus right now is trying to reach out to people who might need help. So that's why we're partnering with some of these organizations that already have a huge list of beneficiaries. We're delivering goodies from Beyond. Her name is Siti Zara.
Yeah.
Hi. Selamat Hari Raya. We're also from Kampong Konkrit. If you need any help from your neighbours, you can call this number.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Things are going more smoothly now compared to weeks ago during the circuit breaker when May tried helping a charity for the first time.
When we were there that day, I expected it to be a bit more orderly, but I didn't expect that the elderlies would just rush forward to pick up their meals and therefore not adhering to safe distancing rules, which is why it was important that we had more volunteers to remind them to do that.
Since then, they've learned to ensure social distancing while serving people in need.
We're going to 545, 549 and 551. Just picking up about 4 more boxes for families here. Our second round reloading.
May says the pandemic has put a strain on families in Singapore.
Families that used to be okay and self-sufficient really falling into the pits. I really hope that as people recover from this, that they don't forget to help their neighbours, help one another, get to know each other in their kampongs.
Everyday heroes go beyond feeding the hungry. They spread love by equipping students in need with laptops. They're a special delivery by Singapore's fastest man.
Schools will reopen in phases in Singapore from the 2nd of June, with priority given to certain groups of students, like those taking national exams this year. More safe distancing measures will also be in place.
After weeks of home-based learning and a month-long holiday engaged in police work, Mr. Tan hasn't been back in a classroom in 6 weeks.
So today is the first week after circuit breaker, so I'm back in school and I'm going to have a lesson later in my secondary 4 class for mathematics. Morning, sit down. Remember I told you today we are supposed to cover the review of the advanced worksheet, right? Advanced assignment, okay? And I think I've given you all the solutions. I think for the past 2 months, one of the main challenges for the students would be that the fact that they have been mostly at home. So there is reduction in the interpersonal communication. So I guess we'll have to start working on that first. Get them back, to the mode of like classroom interaction and classroom learning and teaching and learning as well.
Before the schools were reopened, Mr. Tan had to conduct math lessons from home. A radical change that took him out of his comfort zone.
We differentiate this family of curves, we get the same. When this full home-based learning kicked in, there were difficulties like we couldn't get everyone to be online at the same time. Maybe there were technical issues that they couldn't connect to the teleconferencing platform. But gradually, we overcame it. The main challenge for teachers would be to ensure that no child gets left behind.
Our next hero is determined to give students a fair start in life. He is UK Sham, Singapore's fastest man. Sham holds the national record for the 100-meter dash. But what makes Sham a hero isn't his abs of steel, but his heart of gold.
I was thinking about how I can help the community in some way, and I also realized that this home-based learning movement was going to start. And then we realized that actually the shift may not be so smooth because we cannot assume that everyone owns a laptop. And that's when we realized that, okay, maybe we might need to try and help kids or families that may not have a laptop or may need 1 or 2 laptops. And then I actually quickly called Mark Richmond, who's my colleague and very close friend, as the heads Team Singapore. And then I pitched the idea to him.
Sham reached out on social media for people to donate laptops and also to schools who are in need. The post went viral.
And then immediately we started the ball rolling. So we like galvanized a whole big team of Team Singapore, athletes, and then we started like collecting laptops from people who, donated it. I think initially, like at certain stage, we said, okay, we wanted to help with like 600 laptops. And then, of course, it amplified a lot. So it went way, way beyond that.
Shyam is passionate about helping less fortunate youth level up because he too has humble roots.
I didn't come from a wealthy family and I was from a single parent family. And especially for me, at several points, realized that education empowers you and like dignifies you. And it's what you call like a social leveler. I think I carried on also because there were a few people in my life that picked me up when I fell down. Mr. Kunalan is very well known in the community, and I met him when I was a youth. And of course, I think when you are a sprinter, everyone would look up to him because he was essentially like the fastest Singaporean in history. He actually supported me a lot in terms of like he was giving me coaching advice. And I mean, he was like sort of like a father figure on some level, like being a mentor. Ang Peng Siong, our famous swimming icon, who actually found out about my situation, and he supported me financially and literally like dragged me back to carry on running. I mean, and that's what you could probably say is like the Kampong spirit that we don't realize.
Back in Yishun, Rima is checking on her fellow residents to make sure they are okay.
When I shifted in here, I can see that this block is very gloomy. So it's very quiet, sometimes can be very tense. So I was wondering I should do something better for this to, contribute myself to the community. I was saying that, maybe I should bring them together and help the needies. Okay, we are going to 15th floor. One of our neighbours, he is our stage 4 cancer patient. So I'm going to pass a special neck pillow for him. Hello, hi, good afternoon. Yeah, I just want to pass you your pillow, your special pillow. You need it? Okay, for you. Okay, all right, so you take care.
Rima actively involves her son in her volunteer work, despite his busy school schedule.
My son, Khalif Dani, he's in primary 6 this year. He's a very active child. So another way to release his energy, I take him along. So I want him to be part of the volunteers and be involved with the needy residents over here. I think volunteer works, charity work should start from young because it's easy to encourage your child to just say that, you must help mommy. But kids learn better through action. So I always tell Dani, come and join me. So by doing this, he's able to understand the community better.
May's online service Kampong Kakis links people in need with volunteer befrienders in their neighbourhood.
So we're at Bukit Mara today because we have a few kakis in need here. And we are meeting one of our volunteers, Shi Ai, to buy some grocery packs for her kaki in need and visit her today. Should we get tofu? Get some tofu for her.
Yeah, I think she likes some mangoes. I got her mangoes last week.
Oh, okay, yeah. Can I get more mangoes?
I work in the travel industry, which is badly impacted by COVID, and so I happen to have a lot of free time these days. So I just thought, to do something more meaningful with my time. Madam Chua is in her 90s and she has a son in his 60s who has mental disabilities. This one. Madam Chua, 你好。我又来了。我们带了东西给你。好。不要进来比较好啊！你来，我把东西给你。我们带了菜，然后有面包。
Madam Cha's a bit shy to get the grocery packs from us. She's a bit pricey, so we're trying to convince her to take it.
Madam Chua is usually keen on receiving groceries. Not this time.
I think a lot of them also have some pride and dignity, so they don't want to take too much from us as well.
It's another lesson for the fledgling charity. They'll need to invest more time to better understand the people they have befriended during this pandemic.
So I think when Michelle, Denise and I started Kampong Kakis, we were very clear that we didn't want this to just be a COVID period initiative. Building the Kampong spirit is a common mission and passion for all of us.
But May faces a dilemma. To sink her roots more deeply here, she will have to put off her career in America.
I'm still undecided if I would come back to Singapore for good or stay in New York City. And after going through COVID and seeing how fragile life can be, I'm now starting to think if I want to be closer to my family. And of course, having started Kampong Kakis, I'm also considering coming back to Singapore for the longer term.
As June ends, just over a month remains before Singapore's National Day. Businessman and grassroots leader Key hatches plans to light up his neighbourhood for National Day.
I came here because the LED strip is not enough, so we need to buy extra for the moon and star.
Key is funding the project from his own savings, but he can't do it all alone. Friends from his grassroots committee gladly volunteered.
When I heard that he's doing all this project during this kind of period, decorating the function estate, we were very happy because during this period, everyone is at home, and he's the one pushing forward and help to decorate the area so that function looks more vibrant.
They aim to assemble the LED strips into 3 large Singapore flags.
Oh, okay.
The big one is 4 meter by 6 meter. This will actually place on the ground as almost at a backdrop. So the other one is about 1 meter by 1.5 meter, which we try to hang onto the flag.
Lining up the pieces is one thing, but will they light up?
I'm not electrical trained, so I need advice on the electrical parts. Whether the LED is using a 12 volt, 24 volt, or the ampere is enough for the whole flat. So hopefully that give us 4-5 days to install the lights, and after that we can fix it up on the site.
On the brighter side of things, Key's business is slowly regaining momentum as some of his migrant workers are back at work.
Not all the guys are back. Some are here working. The other is at the dormitory, still cannot out yet. About 8 of them are able to work at the moment. But due to the COVID-19, we are not able to access the site every day.
But not everyone will be sticking around for the festivities. And uncertainty remains around how schools can mark National Day. What's for sure is this will be a national celebration unlike any seen in decades. COVID-19 survivor May Tan has been enabling people to care for neighbours in need through an initiative called Kampong Kakis.
We're also from Kampong Kakis. If you need any help from your neighbours, you can call this number.
Oh, okay.
The future of her movement is uncertain. May has decided to return to America.
So the reason I'm going back to New York is because I actually have a job there. So I've already been here for 4 months and it's about time to go back. It's a bit of a shame that I cannot, continue being on the ground and meeting our kakis. So I'm hoping, I'll be able to come back soon. Okay. So my parents are actually very reluctant, especially my dad. Even though they know that I've gotten COVID before and my antibodies are probably, much better at combating it now, they are still worried that I might catch it in the US. And of course, the political scene there is not as stable, so they are very worried, but they know I need to do this and I've done this before, so they have full faith in me coming back as well.
Former national athlete UK Sham raced to get laptops to needy students when schools were shut.
I think because I came from a background that wasn't so stable, I think it resonates with me.
He and Team Singapore athletes reached out on social media for people to donate laptops. The post went viral and caught the attention of Engineering Good, a non-profit that empowers disadvantaged communities with refurbished computers.
Here I am at Jalan Besar Stadium and I'm visiting Engineering Good. They are the ones that do a lot of the hard work, reformatting the laptops, cleaning it up, sanitizing, uploading the most updated software so that the kids can use it seamlessly. And now I'm just going over to their workshop. Hey guys. Hello. Okay, so this is Engineering Good. They do all the hard work of getting the hundreds, even thousands of laptops ready. This is Johan, the man, the mastermind behind everything.
When home-based learning was about to start, we could see that there was going to be a big demand in laptops, especially for the needy children. In 2 weeks, we had more than 100 volunteers. We had given out more than 600 laptops and we had more than 800 requests. We QC and then we send laptops out for allocation to the beneficiaries. So in the last 2.5 months, we've given out more than 2,500 laptops. Everybody will need to be part of the digital workspace, and we need to give everybody an equal footing to start them off to be able to be part of that community.
And obviously, in this day and age, we know that the internet and a computer is a window of knowledge. So I think it's an amazing tool. To me, I feel that I played just a small part in the whole larger scheme of other people who did a lot of tougher stuff.
When schools were shut, teacher Tan Chi Wee didn't just have to adapt to home-based learning. He sacrificed his holidays to volunteer with the police. When schools reopened, Chi Wee wasn't sure how his school could mark National Day safely.
No fraction in the cert. So what should you do to this one?
But it's now late July, just over a week before National Day. Chi Wee, who is also the teacher in charge of the school's National Police Cadet Corps, planned a simple yet meaningful ceremony.
Kumpulan bendera, masuk, bars.
Masuk. So because of the COVID-19 situation this year, we are not able to have a formal parade. So we are recording a short ceremony where the students from the uniform groups, they are bringing in the flag, the state flag, and then we will carry on our flag raising ceremony and pledge taking. And after that, we'll be having an online concert for the school. The students were definitely disappointed, but they understand that we are not able to have a full parade this year. So we are glad that we are still able to hold a simple ceremony whereby the representatives of them will still be involved so that we can present it to the school.
National Day is a week away. As families continue to struggle to make ends meet because of the pandemic, at Yishun Block 162, Rima has organized a special flea market to uplift the neighbours.
Our flea market is called Take What You Need. We have this reward system where actually they can redeem the items that the donors donate, as example like food, like clothes, masks, kids' masks, diapers, or the adults' diapers. So instead of paying cash, they redeem through their rewards card. This reward card was given to them based on every time when they come down to collect their items, they were given one stamp for each distribution with recycle bag.
Rima knows well the plight of her neighbours. She too fell on hard times in the past.
I want to pass your essential item.
This year, she's given up her job not only to help her son with his primary school leaving exams, but also to concentrate on her volunteer work. Rima's mentor Nizar says Rima has really grown as a volunteer and community organizer.
I'm very proud of her. You know, we've been doing this for several years, and we have tried to do this, which is to empower a volunteer. They've been so good in the sense that they've been able to find their own donors and arrange everything themselves. So this gives me a very feel-good factor where I can sit back and say, hey, okay, Yishun is really well taken care of.
Elsewhere, in the suburb of Fengshan, community leader and businessman Ki Sek Soon wants to light up spirits in his neighborhood.
So today we are putting up the big flat and the 2 side panel. So my guys is helping out to do the installation now.
Ki says he's glad to have more of his skilled migrant workers back to help with this complex setup.
In the beginning stage, we designed the flat as a 4 by 6 meter. But due to the ampere, we have reduced the size to this. After the installation, we will try to light up tonight, so to see the brightness and so on, see whether it can work, function properly. I'm excited to see the lights up.
While the lights get finished, Ki and his volunteers handle another mission, distributing National Day fun packs.
So now we are collecting, this is the storage for the necessary pack. And now we have to take from the store to distribute to 5 different RC. We are moving 54 boxes today so that they can distribute to the residents. We are now at 186 temporary CC. So we are having a station here to give out the fun pack for the residents.
So what happens is next they will ask you, do they want a flag? So if they want a flag, you then take the flag you redeem, opt-in or opt-in.
You want this one?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now everything is ready. So we count 1, 2, 3, then we try to light up and see how's the outcome. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Everybody is having a difficult time. Hopefully that this light up will make all the residents stronger, coming together and more understanding.
I've really learned a lot and seen much different walks of life compared to before. And I hope that, you know, as I come back to Singapore for good, my life will continue being this way and that I can help more people in the community.
The whole idea of like civil society is about, you know, from the bottom up, also trying to help the nation forward. Part of me feels that it's a duty of every Singaporean that, you know, if you have the ability to help in some small way, then you shouldn't think twice and you should just like do it. That's what you mean by the whole Kampong spirit.
This crisis has caused a lot of disruptions to our lives. And I believe that we will be able to overcome this, be open-minded, hardworking, and contribute as much as we can as individuals to ensure that as a country, we continue to be successful.
It has been very difficult and challenging months for many Singaporeans, but I hope more people will come and help the needy even after during the COVID-19.
The concept is, if I can be nice to my neighbor and I can provide something for my neighbor, then my whole neighborhood becomes better. So when that happens, You try to move away from this is my house, it's me, myself, and I, and go back to yesteryears, 30, 40 years, where rekindling of the kampong spirit. It is going there, but not there yet, but we need to rekindle it. This is a perfect example.
On 9th August, National Day lands in Singapore's heartlands island-wide. As we celebrate neighbourly kindness, compassion, and resilience, our heroes show that the kampong spirit lives on in spite of the pandemic. They say Singapore is a concrete jungle. Perhaps it's more a concrete village. A Kampong Konkrit